Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming today to this mediation session. I appreciate you guys gathering around. And I know this is a little weird, it's a little different. We're doing a on-video Zoom mediation today instead of the traditional in-person mediation where we might meet at a physical mediator's office. But I understand that we're trying to resolve some issues today over a little girl named Lucy and some visitation rights for the parties. Or what you might call contact rights. And so at this time, just wanted to go through some basic ground rules of how this is going to work and what may happen today, and some do's and don'ts. Okay, so basically, quick introduction. My name is Mac Pierre-Louis, a mediator. Been a mediator for several years. Been an attorney as well for about a decade here in the US. But one thing that I love to do is helping folks like yourself resolve their problems, resolve their disputes out of court so they don't have to go to a judge and have a judge make a decision for them. Okay, so in this mediation process today, 3 things might happen. Number 1, we may settle in full. We will talk, get our ideas on the table, vent a little bit, express our frustrations, and we might resolve all the issues, and then you guys can move on with your lives. Or number 2, we might agree to nothing. We might decide, you know what, the other side is unreasonable, I'm not gonna take this, and we break off the mediation. That's why I declare an impasse, and I say, you know what, continuing with the mediation process is futile because the parties can't see eye to eye. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. In fact, I have a pretty good track record of getting people to settle the cases. So work with me, and we may be able to avoid the second option of no settlement at all. There is a third option where we do a partial settlement. That means we'll agree on some things we can see eye to eye on, but other things that we can't see eye to eye on, we may just pause on them and reserve those issues for court so that you can have the judge listen to those facts and decide what's going to happen. Okay, so that's called a partial settlement agreement. And I guess there is a fourth thing that could happen today. We could decide to just reset and recess this meeting. We could decide, you know, there's just not enough information that is on the table yet that needs to be acquired first. There's not enough data. There's a reason we might need to pause this and come back maybe tomorrow or next week or next month. And so the ability to recess this mediation is a possibility. However, that's not likely, but I'm letting you know that we don't absolutely have to get nothing accomplished today. We can decide to just recess. Again, we could settle in full, or have no settlement, or partially settle, or recess and come back. But let's try to settle in full. So now the rules. All right, guys. First, please, 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 the most important rule of today, make sure that there's not a child around you and there's not a party around you who can hear what you're saying. Okay, because mediation is confidential. Everything that is said in this mediation agreement today, in this mediation meeting today, is private between us. Okay, in fact, you can't even sue me to go to court and compel me to testify. Okay, you can't subpoena me. As I explained in my mediation letter to you to confirm the visit today, everything that is said will remain in this session. Now, if you have somebody else in the room, you might be breaking confidentiality, okay, and a privacy rule. So just please make sure that's the number 1 rule. Next, we're going to spend some time today. And so if you need to take a break or whatever, if I happen to not be with talking to you, or you decide you need a little bit of a break, go ahead and let me know and you can step out, okay? But just make sure that your camera stays on and that we're able to communicate. Next, I would remind you that we may decide to break into what we call breakout rooms later, where I will meet with Katerina and Natalia in one room, and then meet with Diana and Carolina in another room, privately. That's if I find that it's necessary to split the parties up and have a meeting one-on-one with each team. But we can always come back together, okay? And so when that happens, that's a great time, if I'm not talking to you in your room, for you to take a break and decide to do something else. So I encourage you to have some food around you, relax. This is not as formal as court. Thank you, Natalia. This is not as formal as court. And so you are in the driver's seat. You are in control. You don't have to worry about a judge who's never met your child, about a judge to be making the decisions that's going to affect this child's life and your lives. But right now, this is a great opportunity for you to decide the outcome of today. And lastly, my job today is not to be the judge and to force you to do anything. I'm not going to twist your arms and cause you to have to sign off on any agreement, okay? I would only ask that you trust me in my abilities to facilitate this back and forth. My goal is very simple. It's not to take a side. I may ask tough questions. I may push back on you a little bit, but my goal is to simply help facilitate a conversation so that we can reach some compromise. And if we reach some terms that we are all happy with, I will be typing up the terms on my computer. I will then paste that on my software and send it to you to sign electronically. And hopefully that will happen today. And once it happens, the mediation is over and you guys can move on with your lives. All right, without further ado, let's get started. So, Natalia and Ekaterina, I understand you are the ones who brought this action and you are the ones who proposed this mediation today. Thank you. And Diana and Carolina, you both have graciously agreed to come and join to see if you can, yes, settle this dispute. So my typical practice is to give the floor to the petitioner or the person, the moving party who brought the action. So Natalia, I'd like to give you just a couple minutes to explain to me your position and what you want out of this today, please.
Okay. I'm representing Ekaterina, the grandmother of the child, Lucy, Vasina Garcia. Unfortunately, which of course is not the topic of this mediation, the father of the child, the son of my client, is deceased. But being in a relationship with Carolina, they have a beautiful girl together. You were provided the photo, and
sure. Let me share that. One moment, guys. Let me share my screen real quick. And you should see the picture I had received.
Yes.
That
so
shows
the reason we are coming here today, and this is the reason why we want this beautiful little girl to be able to see the grandmother, which the child unfortunately was deprived of. And of course, I don't want to be nasty to the mother, Carolina, but due to the COVID, that was her explanation, she unfortunately didn't allow my client to see the child for Easter. We have a binding court order from Spain. Carolina and her lawyer live in Spain, and so does Lucy. Ekaterina, would you like to add something?
Yes.
Before you proceed, let me just confirm what I heard Natalia say. Natalia, thank you for the beautiful picture of this little girl. You're wanting your client, Ekaterina, to be able to see her granddaughter. Is correct?
Yes, according to the court order.
And that, yes, you have a court order, and that court order is from Spain, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I understand. Okay, Ekaterina, please go ahead. Thank you.
So yes, I would like to see my granddaughter. I haven't heard or seen her for, I guess, 2 months. The mother of the daughter did not allow me even see her online. So I haven't seen my grandmother for months. It's incredible and very ugly. I missed my granddaughter very much.
Okay, so just to make sure I understand, you are really wanting to see your granddaughter. You haven't seen her, and I believe you said at least 2 months.
Yes.
And that you miss her incredibly.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and please tell me, has your granddaughter been coming to you before?
Yes, my granddaughter visited me two times a year, usually in Easter and in her summer vacation. This is indicated in the court order, and usually the mother followed this. Also, previously, the mother allowed me to see my granddaughter through Facebook. And to connect her with Facebook messages, but I do not know why now it is not possible. I do not know the reasons of the mother not to allow me to see my granddaughter online.
Okay, thank you. And just to confirm, you used to see the child on Facebook Live, correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Facebook Messenger, correct?
Yes, correct.
And and now you don't understand why she's preventing this. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to Diana. You're the attorney for Carolina. Diana, go ahead and tell me, what's your position?
Well, hello. I am the attorney for the mother, for Carolina. And as the grandmother has just said, the mother has been accomplishing the court order until now. So really, she's got a very good reason now why she's not accomplishing, which is the fear and the threat of the COVID. At the moment, the mother is not sure two things. One, she does not know the sanitary conditions where her daughter is going to be in Russia if she goes now. And the second concern is as well is the possibility of the frontiers being closed, even though now the measures have been softened and the granddaughter may go and visit the grandmother. The frontiers may close any moment, and then the minor, the child, will stay in Russia, and the mother fears that she might not have the daughter return to her. So therefore, we would like to find a compromise with the granddaughter. The granddaughter could see her grandmother, but without these risks.
Thank you for that. And so just to confirm your 2 points, you believe that your client believes that sanitation might be an issue. You don't know where the child is going to exactly stay and how she's going to stay. And you believe that it's a possibility that the borders, the frontiers may close so that the child might get stuck inside the country due to COVID-19.
Exactly.
Okay,
Right.
but I understand that you are willing to enter into compromise. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, that is good news, and that does keep the doors open. Carolina, please, what's your position?
Hi, hello. I couldn't send Lucy to Russia in Easter because we were in a lockdown. So it would have been it would be negligent from my part to send my daughter to Russia. So I can't believe that the grandmother cannot recognize that. I'm very worried. I need to be honest. I want to be very honest, and I want to be transparent. Her house is a mess. I'm worried about my daughter when she's in that house. She come back from Russia full of eczema, and her hair is very dirty. So I'm really worried about that, and I need reassurance about that. And I don't say no, but I need to think about this. Maybe she should come here and then Lucy goes there, but for less period, I'm not sure. I need to think about my daughter. And about the Face Messenger, for me, it's a problem, Face Messenger, because I need to go through Facebook and then I need to go through the Face Messenger. It will be easier, another platform. I keep telling her to use something different, but because for me, it's a big problem, Face Messenger. And also, Lucy's all the time in front of the computer with the homeschooling, playing, talking to her friends. So it's too much screen time for her. I know that she wants to see her granddaughter, but she needs to think about her granddaughter as well. She's very young and she doesn't need to be in front of the computer for so many hours every day just because her grandmother wants to see her. I'm sorry, that's what I think.
But you haven't allowed me to see my granddaughter 2 months.
Let me just pause right there. Let me just pause right there. And I understand, ladies, that things may get a little heated, but I want to remind you that our rules, okay, include that we can't talk over each other, especially on this electronic means, okay, by doing Zoom. And so we need to take 1% at a time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split the parties up into 2 different rooms so that I can speak to you privately, okay? But before we do that, Carolina, I just want to confirm that you felt that you would be negligent if you had sent your daughter over, and that you said that you felt grandmother's house is a mess with your daughter's come back with eczema and her hair being dirty, and that you have a problem with Facebook Messenger, not that you were opposing to do video conference, but that you would like another tool to be used. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Mark. I can do it, but not every day on Messenger. I'm sorry, but it's only in my iPhone. So I need to go through my phone, and I cannot talk to my friends, or I cannot be in WhatsApp because I need to be giving it to Lucy for the face Messenger. So it will be easier in another way, so she can use her iPad, not my phone. And not every day, because she has, I tell you, since we've been inside the house, I think she's like 7 or 8 hours every day using that computer.
Okay.
Homeschooling,
and I'll hear you.
Friends,
I'll hear a little bit more.
crafts.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead at this time to open up the breakout rooms. And so once I click open all rooms, you're going to see a prompt on your screen that's going to invite you to go to your room, okay? So please click it. And once you do that, I'll be the only one left in this main session, but I will be going into Katarina's room first to talk to them a little bit, and then I'll go to Carolina's room. Now, there is a broadcast feature where I'll be able to message everybody on where I'm at. But I want you to know, I'm not taking a break, I'm not taking a cigarette break outside, I'm actually in the mediation, even though you don't see me, okay? But just be looking at your screen, because I will message where I am and where I'm coming, because I don't want to walk into your room by mistake if you were talking to your lawyer privately. All right, so please accept the prompt on your screens when you have a second. Okay, let me broadcast a message to them that I'm going into the grandmother's room.
We will be having her in your home, and I'm sure that the mother, oh, hello.
Hi, thank you so much. I understand that things started getting a little heated, a little tense, right? And I hear that the facts, you guys, based on the facts, you guys were having visits with the child back and forth. But how did things become so bad?
Previously, as I said, before, the mother used to allow me to see my granddaughter 2 times a week through Facebook or Skype. So it doesn't matter for me what tool is to be used. But I need to visit I need to see my granddaughter at least 2 times a week. I miss her very much.
So you heard her say that she's not opposed to you seeing the child by video, but she had concerns about the screen time. She had concerns about the use of the tool. Is that something you'd consider? Would you consider compromising where, if we were able to get it written down, where you can see the child twice a week by video,
yes,
that you'd be able to use a different tool? And is there a different tool you'd be open to use?
We can use Skype, we can use Zoom. I can follow any decision.
Do you have Skype and Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, how about this? Why don't you consider offering her the ability to pick which one? That way, she may feel empowered to go ahead and say, I want Skype, and then you agree to it and she'll agree to it, and we can make peace on that. Is that something you're willing to do?
Actually, we didn't discuss this before with the mother. the situation quite simple. One day she refused me to see my granddaughter, and that's all. So there were no some discussion or something like this. So
Well,
I don't know the reasons.
But Natalia, just to be clear, the prior court order did not address electronic visitation, correct?
No, not at all.
Okay, so this would be the first time we would actually be writing this down. So since we're having a brand new opportunity to start fresh on this electronic issue, what should the terms be?
Okay, so I know already that they will want it reciprocal. That means that if the child, if we agree that the child finally goes according to the order to Russia on the 1st of July, but we also, if the current pandemic continues, we can discuss if not to move it a little bit forward and let us say send the child on the 1st of August if it is safer. So we can do either or. That will be the first proposal from us, to be more flexible in terms of safety. Second, we, as you've been discussing, Skype or Zoom is absolutely possible, but we wanted to have absolutely strict dates, and we wanted it to be, let's say, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at 6 p.m. And this 6 p.m. is Spanish time, so that it's not just before going to bed, but it's after school, and it would be for half an hour. But we would also be ready to offer those terms to the mother when the child is over in Russia.
Okay.
And we already spoke with Ekaterina about this unpleasant issue of hygiene. And I already know that Ekaterina hired a cleaning lady. So this issue is no longer relevant. And of course, those this rubbish about dirty hair or greasy hair or eczema, no, it's not. It might have happened on the plane. Perhaps the child just has a dry skin, but apart from that, all is clean, and we are absolutely able and ready to comply with any hygienic requirements there might be.
Okay.
Sorry, also I know that mother would like to reduce contacts of my granddaughter with my other relatives, but I live with my other daughter and I have other grandparents, granddaughters and grandsons that live with me. So I cannot prevent them to live in their own house and to see Lucy.
No, thank you for that. I had not heard that from the other side yet, but if that's not an issue that comes up, I don't intend to bring it up at all, because it may just cause more conflict, actually. But if she brings it up, I'll definitely address that with you guys, okay? And so I understand, Natalia, that your side's proposal at this point in time would be, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, go ahead and push July 1st. Summer visitation to August 1st, to begin August 1st, to do electronic access for 30 minutes beginning at 6 p.m. Spanish time on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And
yes, half an hour.
Okay, for up to half an hour, correct? Because if the child gets bored, the child doesn't want to speak for 30 minutes, okay, for up to 30 minutes. And the cleaning lady, you mentioned that, help me. You, Ekaterina, you know Diana, you know Carolina much better than anybody here. So do you believe, look, help me, what should I say to her to help her, agree to not be so concerned over the health and welfare of the child when she's bringing up eczema and hair issues? What would you tell her? What do you think she's going to be sensitive to if I go talk to her about that?
I don't know for sure, but I think mother also may miss her daughter when the daughter will be in Russia. So I can propose that mother may have conference calls or Zoom conferences also 2 times per week when Lucy is in Russia. So the mother can see my house, the surroundings, the daughter, and discuss with her everything she wants.
So to clear it up a little bit, would you be willing to let the mother have the opportunity to view on camera the property?
Of course, of course.
Okay. Okay, we'll go into that a little bit deeper. But do you understand her concerns about the health? I know that you denied that you would ever allow your granddaughter to be harmed in any way health-wise, but do you understand mom's concerns?
Good question. I don't know for exactly, but if mother has some concerns regarding safety, she can ask me any question, and I will answer. I will show what I can.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, ladies, I'm going to go back to the other room, but before I do that, understand that in this private caucus room right now, everything that we're talking about, is staying between us. However, I can't have my hands tied. I need to be able to go to the other room and convey and share some information. So if there's anything that we've talked about right now, where you are absolutely sure you do not want me to mention over there, please let me know before I leave, okay? Because I don't want to misspeak and say something that I shouldn't say, that you'd rather like to keep confidential between me and you.
No, I don't think there was any issue that you wouldn't be allowed to tell them.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and, just to be clear, mention that your proposal would be to start August 1st, to discuss the 30 minutes for the 3 times a week, that you have a cleaning lady to address the concerns, and that you are open to the mother being able to do a virtual video walkthrough by camera to verify that the property is safe. Okay, and I'm not going to mention that you live with other individuals. I think that may cause more conflict, okay, at this point. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Please understand that.
Last but not least, I'm sorry. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 p.m. up to 30 minutes.
Right.
2 things about it. We want it now, effective as of the date of the agreement. And second, it is important because the child speaks Russian with her grandmother. So it is important for her not to lose contact with the language.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank
Ladies
you.
know that when I go to the other room and they express their frustration, their opinions, and I share with them your positions, again, they may not agree, but I'll massage them a little bit. But understand also, they may counter offer you. So please be open. Just because they don't accept every single thing that you might put down does not mean that this is over. Because this is how we do this mediation. We go back and forth until we can reach a middle ground where everybody is willing to accept it, okay?
But I also had a word with you, Katarina. We are also happy to return to main session, and we will be nice, and we will be able to talk everybody. So
I understand. Well, let me talk to them first privately, and then we may come back, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Listen.
Send me a message and I'm going to go into the mom's room.
El iPad, en el iPad ella puede llamar al FaceTime.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Mac.
Y nos queda el tema del... Ok, vale.
Sorry, Mac.
No, it's okay, it's okay. Yo, thank you, ladies. Again, I know things were getting a little heated in the other room, so I didn't want to continue too much in the main session. But now that we are private, we can basically share here. Tell me, what do you want to tell me? Express your frustrations, tell me anything. Whatever we discuss in these rooms, guys, can be confidential and strictly between us. And I do have some things to share with you from the other side, but I want to hear from you first, some of your positions. And then I will return with some of your positions, your offers, your counter offers back to their room. And we'll keep going back and forth, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead, tell me.
Diana, I think you can explain where I'm coming from when I talk about the indirect contact. Can you please tell Mark? Yeah.
Okay. What we think is that I think what it would be best for the child is to determine, to put some order into the telephone calls. Yes. So the grandmother may, not telephone calls, I mean video conference, so she can see her granddaughter. But first of all, it has to be done with order. We have to determine 2 days, for example, 1 or 2 days a week, and it has to be those days. The mother would also be happy with determining the hour as well. And we would like to make it understood that it is not something out of random, or it is because it has to be understood the timetable for a Spanish kid. Normally the Spanish kids finish school, the school activities at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and after that they eat something, which is not the dinner, right? Our days are much, much longer than in Russia and much, much warmer, at least at this time of the year. So therefore, especially now between Easter and summer and October, they're very warm. So therefore, we would like to allow the child to have a little bit of a rest after the school activity, and we would like as well to have some rest and eat something. So maybe the grandmother may call her or may see her at 6 o'clock. Do you agree with that, Carolina? 6 o'clock would be all right for during the weekdays?
Yeah, that made more sense, Diana, like we've been talking, because it will be,
okay.
It will be much better.
Okay.
And I know so that she's calling.
Okay, so she may call at 6 o'clock during the weekdays, and during the and once 1 day a weekend, during the weekend, one time as well. But during the weekend, 6 o'clock is too early here. So we would like to make it 8 o'clock, which would be 6 o'clock Russian time, if we are not mistaken. Okay, so we would have order. When can she will know when she can talk to her granddaughter, at what time, which days. So the mother and the grandmother have order, and they know exactly what to expect, and the child as well.
So let me understand. It would be 2 days in the week, 1 day in the weekend.
One day during the week, and one during the weekend.
Okay.
Twice a week.
Okay,
Max is very busy. Yeah, she has ballet, she has judo, she has a lot of friends. It's very popular. So honestly, it's not because I don't want to. It's because her life is very busy, and I am a single mother, and I work full time. So it's like, honestly, it will be much helpful to have a time and a day, and it will be sometimes better the quality than the frequency.
Well, let's talk about this part actually, because the other side did give me their proposal on a possible solution for this, and it doesn't seem that you guys, the two parties, are too far off. Okay, there are some similarities that I'm noticing here. However, we have to iron out the details to make sure that we could get a compromise. So they were proposing 3 days a week, specifically Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Spanish time, for just up to 30 minutes. Okay, I understand, Carolina, that you would like 2 days a week instead of 3, and that you would want it to be after 5 p.m. And it seems to me that they are offering 6 p.m. So perhaps the time could be something we could work out. And the only thing I was confused about is you had mentioned 8 p.m. as well, but I think you said that was Russian time. Can you clarify the time proposal for me?
No, Spanish time. 8 o'clock Spanish time. 8 o'clock Spanish time is 6 o'clock Russian time.
Okay, so instead of their 6 p.m. Spanish time, you will be counter offering 8 p.m. Spanish.
But that's for the weekend. That's for the weekend call.
Okay, so you would want to have it changed up. So one time 6 p.m. for the weekday calls, 8 p.m. for the weekend calls. Got it.
Yeah.
So I do know that if you are saying that there's a day in the weekend, and if they were agreeing to give you Friday 6 p.m., could that day not be resolved for us? So definitely Friday at 8 p.m. Spanish time would be something we already agree on. So then the next question is, during the week, should it be one day during the week or two? In what days? In what time? That's now the contest. So
sorry, but one thing, you said Friday. Friday is a weekday. It's not a weekday.
Friday, for me,
Friday is the worst day you can find in Spain. The worst one is when all the parties, when they all meet, they go out, and really that's the worst day.
okay,
Saturday would be better, or Sunday.
I was thinking that it was a weekend in the sense that there's no school the next morning. And so a lot of times it's school that controls this, okay? Because you had mentioned the child was on the screen all day for homework and things like that as well. And so, but if you mean specifically that weekend means only Saturday and Sunday, then we need to think about that. Perhaps if they were proposing Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, perhaps they would be open to Saturday instead. Would Saturday be okay with you? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Lucy has swimming on Mondays, ballet on Tuesday. Wednesday is the best day because she's back at home by 5.
Okay.
And
well,
then on
Wednesday,
Thursday she has judo, and then Friday she has again fencing. So I think Wednesday is the only day, honestly, that she will have time to engage in a phone call.
okay.
And then Saturday or Sunday.
So definitely we could do Wednesday 6 p.m. and Saturday 8 p.m. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, those two for sure.
And is the up to 30 minutes okay with you?
How many?
Up to 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Up to 30 minutes. It doesn't mean you have to do 30 minutes. It's just
You know, I'm very happy to put the iPad and to tell, come on, Lucy, is your grandma, but it depends on her. She's not very creative.
I understand
just
that.
Say hi, how you doing?
And they understand that. We talked about that as well, with the fact that the child may decide after 2 minutes, you know what, that's enough, because kids have short attention spans, as we all know, and they may not want to continue talking for 30 minutes straight. But
I don't want to have 30 minutes because then we are back here in 6 months saying she's not complying with it.
Well, then
I prefer to have something more open. Minimum, we will say minimum 15 minutes. Because this woman, what she's all the time saying is that I'm not doing anything, I'm not complying with the order, I'm not complying with the order. So I would prefer something that I know it can happen.
So
I'm not sure about the 30 minutes.
I can definitely stress that to them, but do you think that you could compromise, offer up to 20 minutes?
But make sure that it's worded that I am not obliged to that. That it depends on Lucy and her grandmother.
I understand that. It will be between the grandchild and the grandmother. However, the understanding is that you would be required to allow her to be with the grandmother for up to 20 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
I have never had any problem with that, Mark.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, trust me.
So we have Wednesday 6 p.m., Saturday 8 p.m., up to 20 minutes. And this will be mutual, okay? So when the child is with the grandmother, then you'd be able to do the same exact thing.
No. When she's with the grandmother, she needs to call me every day. She lives with me. No, Diana, you understand that.
Well,
of course.
I cannot see her only 2 days
I mean,
in a week.
it is in the interest of the child. This is the interest of the child.
I definitely would relate that the relationship between the grandmother and the relationship between the mother of the child is very different. Okay, it's a very different dynamic. However, we call this mutuality. Normally, if you want to have the other side accept your terms, you have to be willing to mirror it as well. And so I think that if you're going to propose, every day for you to have video access to the child, I already feel that they're going to fight back and they're going to want something that mirrors that. Yeah, I understand you're very busy, but let's try to have a little bit more balance. Is that something to work with?
Yeah, but Lucy only goes away twice per year. So this is the only time that she's away from me. You cannot do that to Lucy. She should see me, if not every day, at least on alternative days. I'm sorry. But what we are asking, what she's asking me to do is during the rest of the year to be 3 times per week to make Lucy available. Come on, she needs to be reasonable. She needs to know how busy I am.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
And we'll offer that it would be, you can see the child alternative days. But
at least,
because I
let
know
Lucy call me, she is missing me.
Because I know that if the other side was asking for 3 days and then you push back on it, but then you want every day.
Yeah, but what you're implying is that the relationship between the mother and the daughter, when they live every day, the only reference that Lucy has is her mother. The grandmother is somebody that she sees twice a year, and we have to understand that she's very, very young still, even though she's no more than 6. So even though she recognizes her grandmother as her grandmother, but there is not an affectionate link like she's got with her mother. And we also have to understand that Lucy has only her mother is her only reference. So therefore you cannot mirror. It is not a kind of reciprocity between states. These are people.
As I had mentioned before, they are 2 different dynamics, definitely.
Okay.
But at the same time, Lucy's not here. The parties, grandmother and mom, are going to have an agreement or not have an agreement, depending on whether or not they feel that they've been heard and that their positions are being honored. And so the other side gave me 3 days, and your side will want every day. I just have a feeling that they may push back on that. However, I can definitely go back to them and mention that you will accept 2 days a week, up to 20 minutes, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and that you would do alternate days where the same kind of thing, the child would be on video to contact the mother. The grandmother would need to make sure that she facilitates that conversation. And so let's see if that can work, okay?
Alternate is okay, Carolina? What do you think? Alternate days?
And
I think the girl, maybe, and why don't we have even maybe every day for up to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, which is not much. I mean, what we want is that the daughter has a daily contact with her mother. It doesn't have to be as lengthy as the grandmother. It might only be 10 minutes, so the mother and daughter see each other, and the mother is happy, looks at her daughter. She's okay. She's all right. Doesn't need the mother doesn't need for the daughter to tell her a lot, many things.
I will run it by them. And ladies, as I mentioned before, I'm not trying to advocate or push for anybody's side. It's just that I know the temperature of this mediation today and how they may push back a little bit once I tell them only 2 days, but then you want every day. So that's why
Matt, tell her that she needs to trust me. And we want to make it work. Yeah, I know that 2 days, it will be good for Lucy. If we push it too much, she will get fed up because she has too much. Unfortunately, because I work full time, she needs to do a lot of activities.
Got it. Okay, ladies, before we move off of this, let's talk about 2 more things before I go back to the other room. And that is the visitation, or the contact that was to happen on July 1st. I understand earlier you mentioned that because of coronavirus, because of the borders, the frontiers possibly being closed, you were not comfortable sending the child out to Russia like that. The other side is proposing that we push the start date back from July 1st to August 1st. Is that something you believe would resolve the concern?
Doesn't change anything, does it? I mean, the concern is that the frontiers may close any moment. We are in a very, very uncertain times right now. Anything may happen. You never know when a peak may go up or down. When the governments are deciding day by day a different thing. So I don't think that it is very wise for a 6-year-old girl to travel in COVID times. what we would like to offer this time, and only for this time, I mean, maybe next summer we can go to the same regulation as before, but this summer we would like the grandmother to travel to Spain, and so she can see her granddaughter and stay with her, maybe not the whole month, but maybe for 2 weeks she can stay with her. We can decide or discuss if it's in Madrid, which is very, very hot in July, or maybe the mother wouldn't mind the grandmother taking her to the coast for a couple of weeks. That would be fantastic. That would be very good for the girl, and at the same time it would help the grandmother to understand the environment of her granddaughter, because it has nothing to do, Russia with Spain, when it comes to the month of July, the timetable, the times that the people eat or have dinner, because it's all related to the heat, and also to the customs that we have here. So maybe that would help the grandmother to understand her granddaughter, and the granddaughter would have a good time. Do you agree with that, Carolina? Would you like that?
Yeah, exactly. That's how we've been discussed, that it would be ideal for this coming summer.
Okay.
Okay.
My sister have a flat in the coast, so I'm happy to facilitate that to the grandmother, so she doesn't need to pay for the accommodations. They can go to Alicante for 2 weeks to my sister's flat.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, we may need to have the attorneys, Diana and Natalia, step out and have just a quick 30-minute or 30-second conversation, because one of the concerns I have is the issue of the underlying order. I understand we're here to modify the order to address what's happened recently, but if I'm hearing you correctly, that because of the COVID-19 coronavirus and governments are making decisions left and right, are you concerned with the fact that whatever you're proposing may be indefinite? Because we don't know when any of these lockdowns could ever be lifted. We don't know when the borders might be closed. So my concern is legally, what can the attorneys draft into a court order and make it enforceable if we have, conditions in the order? Because you would agree with me, right, that you can't really put something too firm into the order when governments are making such decisions. So this is why I think this is a legal question that the attorneys need to kind of just talk about what's possible. But I can bring this up to them, but I just feel that this might be a concern. So before I go to the room, the last question is the issue of the cleanliness. Grandmother says that she has hired a cleaning lady, and that she is open to having you do a virtual walkthrough in her where she lives, where the child will be staying, so you can feel comfortable that the child is not going to be getting eczema or having bad hair. She's claiming that she's not the cause of any of this, but that if you are concerned, she has no problem showing you the home, walking you through it through video, and making sure you see the child's going to be safe. Is that something that you'd be okay with?
Well, for this summer, yeah, this summer is COVID. For me, this summer, honestly, she's been going to Russia before, but this summer is COVID. And for future visits, the problem is like, this woman, I don't know how many people live in that house. Okay. So there are a lot of people in that house, and it's like, I don't know, even a cleaning lady will be able to do that, to be honest.
Well,
she has, I think.
On the issue of other people living in the house, the underlying order doesn't address a concern of who can live with who, right?
No.
So,
what do you think, Diana?
Well, what I think is that at the moment that issue is not really relevant, at least not this year, because if what we are proposing is for the grandmother to go to Alicante. We know how clean your flat is in Alicante. It's a beautiful flat.
I'll bring that up.
So that's no issue at the moment. And not only that.
Let me go bring that up, and I'll see where we stand on that. And it's possible I might need to contact you back And if so, I will move you, Diana, into a lawyer's room, and all you need to do is click to transfer out, okay?
Okay.
Lady, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
And by the way, everything that I've said that we discussed in this session is confidential. However, my hands can't be tied. I need to be able to express your positions to them clearly. So just letting you know, if there's anything that I've said or that you've said to me that needs to stay in this room, then please let me know and I will not share it, okay? Is there anything that is absolutely confidential between us three right now before I go?
No, I don't think we have discussed anything that she doesn't need to know. I'm fine.
I'll be right back.
Thank you.
It's okay. Yep.
You've been doing.
Okay, ladies.
Hi.
So,
Hello.
yes, no, thank you. I understand that you did call me, Natalia, into your room, but I was just about to come into your room anyway. I apologize it took so long. The issues became a little tense just because, you know, obviously, as I told you, we were going to share your proposals, but they have some pushback and they have some counters, but I'd like for you to hear them out and consider if you accept their counter offer or if you send me back with a counter offer. But I'm hoping we don't have to do too many counter offers because we need to eventually wrap this up. But basically, with regards to the electronic visits, you have proposed Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Spanish time, up to 30 minutes. They're proposing Wednesdays and Saturdays for up to 20 minutes. And when it comes to the reciprocal nature, simply because of the relationship between mother and child, they would prefer that the child be able to contact the mother for up to 10 minutes every day, just 10 minutes, so she can check up on her. And if this is something you guys could accept, then we would be able to get this dispute out of the way and move on to the other ones. But just to be clear, when they're saying Wednesdays and Saturdays, they will be proposing Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Spanish time and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Spanish time because she doesn't have school the next morning, so it gives her a little more flexibility. She explained to me just how busy the child is. She has judo, she has swimming, she has different, or ballet, she has different activities.
But we are in the COVID time and she has no judo during COVID. That's not proper. So we understand that we can also agree on a COVID temporary scenario that can be because during the COVID time everybody's missing more because of the lockdown, and so we thought that it would be more, especially after this 2-month break in contacts, and when the normality comes back, maybe that could be.
I understand your reasons, but I understand I did express your concern and that you want the reasons why you want the time, okay? And I think it was totally reasonable and fair to offer the 3 days. I totally understand. But at the same time, I'm not the judge. I can only convey information and try to facilitate the discussion. And so what I have, and this is why we took a little while in there, what I have is the Wednesdays and Saturdays for up to 20 minutes. Is that something that you could tolerate, that's agreeable to you? Or are you insistent that that's something that you might be willing to go to court over?
Ekaterina.
My concern is that I will be able to see my granddaughter electronically or only 2 days per week for 20 minutes. But when Lucy will come to Moscow, the mother will be able to see her every day for 10 minutes. I guess we are not in an equal situation. We are not in an equal position. But
yeah, that was addressed, and I think their position is that the two can't be compared equally only because she is the mother of the child, and that's her position, that's her rationale. There is a legal fact that you guys have two different relationships with the child. One's a grandmother, one's a mother. And her position is that the child is living with the mother every single day. And it may actually not be in the child's best interest to break that. So we need to have the child be able to connect with the mom every day, just to create some kind of continuity, for her psychologically and emotionally. That's the rationale. I get that rationale, but it's really up to you to accept that. You being a mom yourself may appreciate what she has said, but that's the best I could do with regards to explaining why they felt that it was justified to say 30 minutes versus, 20 minutes for you and every day for 10 minutes for her. But again, this is one of those things where you have to start now thinking, what does your best and worst day in court look like? If you were to go in front of a judge, and perhaps Natalia can speak on this, what would a judge say? If the judge is going to feel that you're a grandmother and that at least you're going to get 2 days a week, is that something you could accept now? Because the judge might say it. Or might it be better than what a judge might say? If a judge might say you're going to get 1 day a week, might it be a good thing to just accept the terms now? And maybe conceivably you and the mother could work something out, because it's completely possible for you guys to work this out yourselves outside the order to give you additional time. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying people do it all the time. But that would depend on your relationship being a workable one. But for the time being, the reason I'm bringing up the court aspect is to ask you, start comparing this in your mind to what you could get from a judge versus what you could get by agreement. I can't force you guys to agree. I can simply bring you guys to the table and facilitate the conversation. And so this is the mother's position. And now I need to hear from you, is that something you would be willing to accept? Or is that a non-starter and you are insistent that I go back in there with something?
Mark, before we agree, there were two other issues, and
yes.
because it also
let me finish the other issues. So with regards to the cleaning, that's fine, not a problem. It's just that everything, especially the cleaning now, is conditioned on this issue. And here it is, guys. They don't feel comfortable for this year that the child be going to Russia at all, primarily because of the uncontrollable and unknown and uncertain aspects regarding lockdowns and government intervention and closing down borders. They were proposing, why don't, just for this year, given the circumstances, the grandmother, you come to see the child. And you can stay up to 2 weeks, and you can take the child down to the coast in Spain, and you spend time with her in a different environment. That way you can almost guarantee that any any Russian or Spanish government intervention in your countries will be addressed. You don't have to be concerned about the child being stuck in a foreign country without the ability to return back home. I told them that I would bring that up to you. I don't know if you had ever thought of this possibility as a solution, but they're open to that. And maybe if you were to agree to that, you could tweak the terms a little bit in a way that benefits you. Okay, maybe make it a family vacation of sorts. I know this might cost some money because you weren't expecting to travel, but that's what I wanted to bring up. Okay,
so I think we will have to make a counter offer. Ekaterina, you were telling me that they have, so Carolina has seaside house in Marbella. Could you please consider if Carolina enables you to use this house in Spain for 3 weeks, let's say, would you come there with your family? And if you could use this, this house for free, maybe that would be making sense for you to make a nice vacation and have Lucy there.
Yes, when I was listening to Mark, my concern was that I'm pensioner and the issue of cost is very sensitive for me. But if I can use some house for free, yes, it works for me.
Okay, so Natalia, just to clarify for me, my European geography is not as in-depth as yours. So where are these cities located?
Marbella is one of the most beautiful
places in Spain.
In Spain, just in general.
And how far is that currently from where Lucy lives?
I think she lives in Madrid, and it will be like 3 hours by train.
Yes, something like this, yes.
So do you believe that this type of your possession would not be affected by the distance?
It will not be, if we agree on that, Ekaterina could fly to Madrid, take the child with her and travel with her on train, and the entire family on train to Marbella.
Okay. Speaking of the entire family, guys, they did mention this issue of the other relatives you have living. And I told you before that that was something that I might not address. However, they did mention it. So let me just speak to this. It may not be relevant if the family, if the child is not going to Russia. It may not be relevant.
And
However,
especially if it's, I'm sorry to interrupt you, if it's their house, and please remember, we don't know if the obligation to quarantine will be lifted. So if we are to travel to from Russia to Spain, then having a house where people would actually be quarantined would be really something good.
okay.
Also for this reason.
Katerina, who would you be bringing with you if you came?
My daughter with my granddaughter. So
okay.
I will be accompanied by 2 persons.
Okay. Okay. Well, guys, I think that might be a pretty good solution actually, because they were open to you coming down anyway. Now we just have to iron out the details on where you might stay. I don't know if this house in Marbella is already being occupied or what else you might have going on in there. But I think this might be a point where we possibly could come back to a main session and speak together. But just to be clear, with regards, I understand that you've given some thought into coming down, but with regards to the electronic communications, which would always stick around and be ordered, are you at this point in time accepting their counteroffer, or is that something that you want to come back on?
I guess I have nothing to do only to accept.
But if they agree to our other conditions, so if they provide the house which is there and we can go there and possibly also quarantine there, then perhaps this would be the entire agreement.
Okay, and this would be for 2020, correct?
Only. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
But it would be 3 weeks, not 2 weeks, please.
3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Because 2 weeks is quarantine, then a week for some sort of pleasure, finally.
Okay, and I understand your rationale because of the quarantine, the 14 days. And so Natalia, earlier I had mentioned that I may need to bring you and Diana, the attorney, to one room to discuss some of the legal aspects of something. But I think we're good now because we don't need to do it since I think we're opening the door to possibly coming and doing this in Spain instead. All right, let me go ahead and go back to the other room real quick. And then I'm just going to close you guys out, okay, once I confirm to them that we're going to.
And so if I understand that this is also the important information for Ekaterina, as soon as you agree with them, you are not coming back to us, you will just bring us to the main session. Is that correct?
That's correct, but I will message you first and I'm going to do so that you are aware that you're going to be moving back, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
See you soon.
Venga, corre, corre.
Corro un segundo porque mira que tenía que haber ido a por el agua y ¿dónde lo tengo yo?
Sorry, my lawyer has gone to get some water.
I understand, no problem. I will wait for her.
Ya está, sabía yo que me faltaba algo. Sorry.
Okay, great. No, guys. Well, I think we have some good news. I think this is going to work itself out potentially today. But let's. I would like to bring you guys all into the main session so we can iron out the details. But I think we may have a deal. But I just need to hear from you first on one thing. So they would agree to your electronic terms of the Wednesdays and Saturdays, 6 and 8. The mom every day for 10 minutes, but then up to 20 minutes. They would agree, and of course, we've already agreed upon the video for the cleaning and the cleaning lady. But they would agree to having grandmother come down to visit the child in Spain, but not for 2 weeks, but for 3 weeks, only because their rationale is there's a 14-day quarantine requirement anyway, where they might not be able to do anything outdoors as they would like. And so they would prefer that it be 3 weeks instead of just 2 weeks or 14 days. And lastly, the real issue is cost. Grandmother explained that she's a pensioner and that coming down would be enormously costly for her. And she would be bringing her adult daughter down as well. But the issue is, in terms of rectifying this, can Carolina help in this regard? I understand that, Carolina, you have a home in Marbella, Spain. It's approximately 3 hours out of Madrid where the child lives. However, grandmother was asking, could she just stay there? That would definitely help her cost-wise. It would provide her the ability to see her granddaughter, and you would have a little bit more control because of the fact that the child would be staying in your country. And it would be a good opportunity for grandmother to get to see the environment of the child, get to live in that, Spanish heat in the July. So what do you think about that? Is that something that we could make happen? And if so, could we discuss it, the details to finalize this thing in a group session, please?
Yeah, I think 3 weeks, it makes sense because it's a long journey. I understand it's a big effort for her. And I already said that I would be happy to speak to my sister so she can stay in her house or she could stay in my house. And also, can I send someone like every 2 or 3 days to clean the house as well? So I make sure that the toilet and everything is clean. So yeah, I think that would be much better for everyone, especially this year that is so exceptional for everyone.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
I'm happy with that.
I'll take notes of this possibility to send someone to clean every other.
It's just to help her, so she can enjoy the time with Lucy. She doesn't need to be worried about cleaning the toilets.
Great. Let me message
And the kitchen.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and leave the breakout room and message everybody that I'm bringing you guys back, okay? So we can all speak together.
Okay, and say thank you about the indirect contact. That's very important for me, that I can see her.
Say thank you about the what?
That I can see my daughter by telephone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm writing that I'm bringing everyone back to the main session. Let me close all rooms.
Hello.
Okay, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you so much for your patience. And now we have everybody back. And so we've been going back and forth, trying to bring some resolution. And so at this point, I'd like to just confirm a few of the things that we do agree on and some of the things that we just need to iron out the details just a little bit, okay? And so let's start with the easy stuff first. So the mother, okay, whenever the child is with the, every week, during the week, grandmother shall be entitled to Wednesdays and Saturdays to see the child. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Spanish time. Saturdays 8 p.m. Spanish time for up to 20 minutes by video.
Mm-hmm.
And mother shall be entitled every day for up to 10 minutes by video. Now, we had discussed the possibility of not using Facebook Messenger anymore. And so the proposal was made by Carolina that she's open to using Skype or Zoom. And Carolina, we want to confirm with you which one would be okay to use going forward.
I prefer Zoom. Zoom would be much better for me, please.
Okay. So then it's official. It will be Zoom, just like we're doing on this video today. Okay. Next issue is with regards to the cleanliness. If the child is in Russia and she is with the grandmother, then the grandmother would continue to use a cleaning lady to keep her home clean. At the same time, grandmother would allow Carolina the opportunity to do a virtual walkthrough by video on the property to make sure that everything looks good and proper. And that would be that. And finally, the big one. With regards to the visitation, we had gone back and forth, and we've come to a negotiated settlement where for this year and this year alone, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the parties would suspend the child's travel to Russia. But for this year, the grandmother would come visit the child in Spain. And the grandmother would stay in Maribela, Spain, at the home that is currently owned by, I believe, Carolina or Carolina's sister. I may be.
Yeah, my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason for this is also to defray the costs, because this was an unforeseen circumstance. And normally, the child would be going to the other country, but now that we're asking grandmother to come in, it might be a little costly. So we'll go ahead, and Carolina is gracious enough to help facilitate this by having grandmother stay at no cost at this home. And so the only thing that Carolina asks, well, before I say that, the parties are agreeing that it will be for 3 weeks, not 2. And the only thing that Carolina asks is that she be able to send a cleaning person to the home. I believe you had said, Carolina, every other day or once a week. What were you proposing on that?
I was thinking every 2 days, just to help to clean the kitchen and the toilets, because it's my sister's flat, so I want to make sure that it's also kept in good conditions.
Okay, Carolina, is that something that you'd be willing to do?
Yes, it's acceptable for me, not a problem.
Okay, guys, thank you for that. So,
But just to make it clear, but who is paying for the cleaning lady? The one.
I am.
Oh,
Okay.
Good.
okay, and I'm going to make a note of that. Thank you, Natalia.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies, if you will just give me just 5 minutes to type this up, I will be right back with you, and then we can go through the document. And if you guys are all okay with it, we'll send it for signature. But if there are still some things that you need to be changed or explained or clarified, we can still make some updates. It'll be a first draft, okay? So let me just go and, I've already written it down, but I need to just bullet point it real quick, okay? At this point, I'm going to place everyone in, back into the breakout rooms. I could put you in waiting rooms, but it's easier to breakout rooms, just for you to hang tight, all right? So please accept on your screen.
Okay.
Okay, let me type up the, okay, ladies, I'll go ahead and close out the breakout rooms. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, okay? So you can see the draft. Okay, ladies, you should be able to see my screen in the document.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this is a mediated settlement agreement, cause number 123456 in the Court of First Instance, 34 Madrid, Spain, in the interest of Lucy Vecina. I believe the last name was Vecina.
Garcia?
No, Marin.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
A minor child was mediated for final orders on the 30th day of May 2020 by mediator me. The parties agreed that these settle in full, yada, yada, yada. This is my typical language that protects everybody's rights. And the parties are Carolina Marin Pedreno, the mother, and Carolina Vecina, the grandmother. The scope of this agreement is that the parties agree to settle all the claims and controversies between them. So we are successful in settlement. We will not be going to court. And number 3, here's what's important, the actual agreements. Okay, this is very short. It's just 3 bullets, 1, 2, and 3. So let's go over them, and I want you guys to help me tweak the language so that if there's any other issues that need to be addressed, we can address them right now, and I'll be able to copy this and send it for signature. Okay, the parties agreed to the following terms and provisions. During their periods of possession, mother and grandmother shall have the following electronic contacts via Zoom video. Mother, every day at 8 p.m. Spain time for up to 10 minutes. Grandmother, on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Spain time and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Spain time for up to 20 minutes. Notice I put this in yellow because we had not discussed when mother would be able to contact the child while the child is with grandmother. I put 8 as a proposal. What do you guys think? And what could
This is fine for me.
Is this one okay?
It should be fine for the mother, really.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next one. While the child is in the grandmother's possession, the grandmother shall maintain a cleaning person and allow the mother the ability to do virtual video walkthroughs via Zoom up to once per week to the home to verify cleanliness. Question, I put here, because we didn't discuss how frequently mother might be able to do these video walkthroughs, but is up to once per week reasonable and okay?
Yeah, seems well. Seems
What
right.
do you think, Carolina? Once per week? Maybe twice should be better?
No, yeah, I was thinking at least twice, Diana.
At
Yes.
least twice.
What do you think, Ekaterina? Twice
I
a week?
guess we can agree, but please let me know in advance when you would like to do this.
Okay, so how about we do this compromise? So we'll say twice per week, but also mother shall provide grandmother with 24 hours notice.
Yes.
Yeah.
When she wants to do a video walkthrough.
So she's going to have a clean one, a clean
Yes.
house twice a week.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Everybody gets a guarantee that it's going to happen.
Correct. So I can go ahead and unhighlight this, and I can also go ahead and unhighlight this. And let's now go to the big one. For the grandmother's 2020 summer contacts only, grandmother shall exercise her contact with the child in Spain for up to 3 weeks. Mother shall facilitate grandmother's stay in Spain by allowing her grandmother to live rent-free at the vacation home located at Marbella, Spain. Please help me correct that. Mother shall have the ability to send a cleaning person every 2 days to the home to help keep the home clean. Let's discuss this, guys. What else should be here to preserve people's rights?
Yeah. First of all, the starting date, because this 3 weeks needs to be located in certain period of time. I suggest it starts 1st of August, because this is what we agreed on. The order says 1st of July. We are postponing that due to COVID. Is that all right?
Carolina, what do you think
Yeah,
about
that's fine.
To August.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, as of 1st of August.
For the Grandmother 2020 summer class only beginning August 1,
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
Grandmother should exercise. Okay. And what about the location? Is that proper?
Yeah, the Google suggestion of correction is correct. So Marbella is spelled with double L.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, let's say Marbella, but there's no Alicante because Carolina said Alicante. Well, it doesn't matter. That's Andalucía. It's okay.
Okay.
It was a minor mistake. I prefer Marbella.
Gotcha. All right. Well, ladies, if this is okay, if there's no more revisions done to this, I would like to send this for your signatures in order to complete this mediation. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
There's one thing missing. No, wait a minute. Via Zoom. No, sorry. It's okay. I never read it.
Yes.
So the video working via Zoom twice.
Yes.
Okay, that's all right. Okay.
So Diana, the judge will agree to this?
The judge, yes, the judge will be very, very happy that we have done the work for him. Yes.
Great, but then thank you for this question, Carolina. And then there another sentence that needs to go in there, that the parties will make sure it is enforceable both in Spain and Russia.
Yeah, there should be added at the end of that this agreement should be valid in both countries. Yes.
Yeah, and that was the intention of the parties.
Yes, that's the intention of the party. Yeah.
Today is Saturday, so the first call will be today at 8 p.m.
Yes, we wanted the first call to happen today, so we can also say that it starts as of today.
One thing, as regards to the enforceability of the agreement, I've got a juridical doubt. It is definitely enforceable in Spain because the child resides in Spain and the court order is a Spanish order. I am not that sure it could be enforced in Russia. Maybe more than being enforced, the word valid. This agreement is valid for both countries, or
okay, we can put it the way. It should be valid.
You know better. You know the Russian law, so I mean. Okay.
Yes, that's all right with us.
Give me one moment, please.
That's beautiful.
All right,
Yes.
I am in the process of getting to the signature platform. If you will just bear with me.
Will it be done that we receive it to our email addresses and we are to sign it?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. In fact, I should be able to walk you through this, and I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah.
I will share again. And at this point, you should see my portal that I'm about to log into for online mediators. And I will sign in with my password, and I'll come back and show you my screen so that I can copy and paste. Okay, give me one moment.
Yes. And
Thank you.
So I'm going to the e-signatures, and I'm going to add a new document.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and click all the signers that need to sign. Okay, it's going to be all 4 of you. I will not be signing this one. So let me get the names correctly. Carolina, Lauren, Drano. Your email, Carolina. I can copy the emails because I have it.
Yeah.
On
CMP, and it should start now.
Another screen.
Okay, done.
So you want it now, Mark?
Say what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the email
Carolina,
address
can you
now?
dictate? Yeah.
copying.
Yeah, it's CMP.
Okay.
I'm pasting it right here. Control
Yes.
V. Done.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
do the next one. It's going to be Vecina. I got Vecina. Let me copy that one.
Correct.
And let me. Okay, and finally, let me do the
lawyers.
attorneys. Let me go to Diana. Here it is. Diana, your last.
Carrillo.
Spell that for me.
C-A.
Oh, I see it. I see it right there. Carrillo.
Double R, double L. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
And Natalia.
Natalia.
And that will be lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will.
Email
My
address,
email
Natalia.
address.
Email
Yeah.
address for yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm not going to assign a sign order. You guys will all get it at the same time simultaneously. There.
So what will happen now? I understand we will get the emails.
So now I need to paste your actual language, which is as simple as this. I go back to your mediation agreement and copy it and paste it. Okay, it's right here. The title will be Mediation Settlement Agreement. And it was, the case was brought by grandmother, which was Vecina, versus, it was
Marin Pedreño.
Pedreno. Okay, so ladies, now that it's here, I will go ahead and just send document. I'll go ahead and send a PDF attachment as well, not a problem. Okay, and since you guys are here, you will see a preview. A document that looks just like this. Okay? And you'll be able to sign Carolina, Diana, and Natalia. And it will give you guys a fingerprint for security. And then we'll be able to have an audit trail. So let's go ahead and click send document.
Sorry, Mark. The email address that I gave you is not where I am having this Zoom mediation. So I need to give you the email address where I have when I'm using the Zoom. That is my iPad.
No, tell me, is it the email address that you can see on your mobile?
On my mobile, yes.
So this is enough.
Yes.
Okay.
On your mobile, you just get it.
Yes. Please check your email, and as soon as you see the email, open it up, review and sign. You can sign with your finger on your smartphone, really easy, and we will all be done. And I'm just waiting for you. Okay, ladies, and we're back. Thank you so much for the time you spent today in negotiating and settling this mediation. I hope now with this document, you'll be able to file it with the court or do whatever you need to do and move on with your lives and have some peace with regards to this beautiful little girl named Lucy. Okay, and so without further ado, that's it. We've saved you a lot of time, money, and energy from having to go argue this in front of a judge. And it empowered you to be able to make the decisions over Lucy's life. Okay, so I wish you all the best. And I hope that your daughter and your granddaughter will grow up to be a great young lady. All right, thank you so much for coming to me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
for that.